What is going on? I am Cole, and I'm here to talk to you about my most anticipated comics for March 9th, 2022. Make sure you stick around after this intro. My most anticipated comics for March 9th, 2022. And to start this off, I just want to get a little bit of house cleaning out of the way. Number one, I saw the Batman movie. It was fucking fantastic. And number two, I will be going live on Whatnot this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've got a few lots of comics. I've got some variants. I've got some first appearances. I've got some just random cool covers. I've got a lot of random stuff that seemed to do well last time I went live. I might also make some mystery boxes depending on how the next few days go. So make sure if you are not following me to hit the link below and get in on that. It'll be once again at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I also have some buy it nows. I'll probably give away a slab if I can get up to 150 followers. And I definitely just will have other random giveaways that I'll be doing throughout the day. So once again, make sure you do that if you haven't already. And just to let you know, for those of you who come back multiple times, thank you so much. It means a lot to me that I get people that come back here. If you are new here, make sure you leave a comment, whether it be about what your most anticipated comic is or what you think about my list. But the one thing I want to say for all the new people out there is that I use the website League of Comic Geeks, and while I like it because it usually has most of the stuff out here, sometimes things get pushed back. I know I mentioned Red Room Trigger Warning last week on my most anticipated comics, and it looks like it got pushed back today. This can either be from things, whether it be like paper shortages or other things. There's a lot of books coming out, and sometimes they get moved or pushed back, and that's just something you have to deal with. So I just want to let you know that in case you go to your shop, you ask them about a book and you're like, well, Cole told me. That's how I get my information. So I just want to make sure you are aware, because sometimes there are delays, there are pushbacks, and I can't always get them right all the time, but I want to let you know in case you want to look too, to make sure you can check what you want to get this week. All right. This is where I get to the point where I talk about my spec recommendation for the week. This is kind of a weird one, and I didn't know exactly if this is true or not because I thought that she showed up in a different book. But Captain Carter #1 will be the first appearance of Captain Carter in comic books. According to League of Comic Geeks, I thought she showed up in an Exile book, but maybe that's a different character, and this is the first iteration of that. So if you really like that What If episode, I would highly recommend checking this one out, because I think that this is going to be a good starting point if this character really starts to take off. This week has a ton of #1s, so my most anticipated list is going to be all #1s, but I want to talk about a few books that I have been reading and really enjoying, and I thought that I would bring those up to you too, just so you're not thinking there's all new books only. Detective Comics 1056 is coming out. This has been weekly, and I've really been enjoying this whole arc, so I just want to give it a little bit of props. Thor 23 is coming out. I actually did not get issue 22 yet in my shop, but I think I have somebody passing me along one. But Thor has been very solid for the last 5 to 10 issues. Superman Son of Kal-El #9. This one kind of takes off where Nightwing left off. I really enjoyed that Nightwing story with John, and I'm kind of excited to really see where this one goes. As I mentioned earlier, Red Room Trigger Warning #1. This is a volume 2 of that, but I mentioned it last week, so I don't really need to go into it that much. But if you didn't already, hit that last week's book and you can hear me talk about it in a little more detail. Apache Delivery Service #3 is also coming out. That is a fantastic book from Dark Horse, and I think if you like war stories, and even if you don't like war stories, Matt Kent is doing a great job on that book. I would say the one thing that people might not like is that I know some people are not huge on some of the art that he has in his books, but I personally really love it. And the final one is going to be Primos #2. That first issue was really good. I think there were some things I didn't necessarily love about it, but I think this next issue is really going to take the story to another level. So those were kind of the quick things on stuff that I am continuously reading, and I wanted to include those before I get to the main list. And the first week for my most anticipated comics of this week is Trials of the Amazon #1. This book is tying together Wonder Woman, Nubia and the Amazons, and Wonder Girl. And while I'm not reading two of those books, I have been loving Wonder Girl so much. I'm excited to see more stories with Yara Flor, and I will continuously support them because unfortunately her ongoing did get canceled. I'm hoping though that after the trial of the Amazon book kind of finishes up, maybe they will give her a new run, but I've really loved it, so much so that I had to end up getting her Funko Pop. But I think this is going to be a pretty fun little book, and I'm hoping that it can continue bringing Yara back to us so that we can get a character that I have really started to love. Speaking of new DC characters that I love, we're getting Naomi Season 2, number 1. I really loved the first run of Naomi. I would say that it is easily the most solid book besides maybe the Batman Walmart book that Brian Michael Bendis has done on DC, and I've really been enjoying the Naomi TV show too. So I'm always going to pick up new Naomi titles because I think she is such a compelling character and I think she's very cool. I think when it comes to some of these newer characters, if we don't support some of the issues that there are, DC is not going to continue push these characters. So remember, if you are one of those people who do not like, who want new characters and want them to build, sometimes I think that you need to, grab a book, even if it might not be always what you want, because that's the only way that DC is going to continue doing them. That being said, I think Naomi Season 1 was fantastic and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see more of Naomi's backstory and just figure out a little bit more about her. I think with the TV show, there's going to keep putting these books out, but I'm excited, and it is only a limited series of 6 issues. And the next book up is going to be Punisher number 1. This is from Jason Aaron. One of the main reasons I want to get this book is because people hated the new outfit so much. I'm excited to see it. I think him kind of becoming part of the Hand seems pretty compelling to me, and I'm excited to see what happens with this Punisher story. All right, and for this next book, I had to bring a special guest with me. She found some candy on my desk. We'll get to that later, but this is Hazel. The reason why I brought her on is because I'm getting this book because I know she's going to love it. She's dressed up as Wonder Woman. I talked about that a little bit earlier, but let's get to her other favorite character. Hazel, who's that on the screen right there?
Wonder Woman!
No, right there. Who's that?
Ghost Spider!
Yeah, and we're talking Ghost Spider because SpiderGwen, Gwenumverse number 1 comes out. This is one of her characters. Yeah, we'll set that right there. It's some candy. This is what it is. I'll probably give it to her after this for being such a good helper. But SpiderGwen, Gwenverse number 1 is coming out. She's pumped for it. I'm definitely excited to read some Spider-Gwen and start to get into a character that she really likes. What do you want to say to everyone, Hazel? Can you say hi?
Hi.
All right. And that was Spider-Gwen. Hazel, can you say bye to everyone?
Bye, everyone.
And as you can tell by my outfit change, I had to go hang out with my daughter because after she joined me to talk about the Gwen book, she has to hang out and I couldn't say no to her. So the next book that we're talking about is Hit Me number 1. This is from AWA. This is from writer Krista Faust, who wrote the book Bad Mother, which I really enjoyed. She also did a book called Redemption, which is more of a cyberpunk cowboy story, which I wasn't as into. It was still very good, but I think it's just not kind of the type of book I like to read. But this one is another crime book, more similar to, I would guess, Bad Mother, except for it kind of deals with a character who gets paid by her bruises. So I'm excited to see what this book is all about. I think the AWA, I've mentioned a lot of their books in this segment because they are releasing a lot of solid books, and I think that with their model of how they write these minis, a lot of them are almost built and engineered to make shows. So if you're into comics that then become shows, this could be another one that has that type of a vibe. And the final book, I know we normally only do 5, but there were so many good number 1s that I had to add an extra slot to this. And we're talking about Little Monsters number 1. This is a Jeff Lemire book with Dustin Nguyen on art. If you don't know, they both did the Robin and Batman book, also Ascender, Descender, and I'm really pumped for this. I pretty much pull anything that Jeff Lemire writes, no matter what. And while I'm not huge into vampires, I will trust in the story. I think this is the first in what Jeff Lemire is doing on a pretty horror-driven style imprint for Image. So I'm excited to kind of see where this goes. Dustin Nguyen's art is fantastic, and both of these are winners. Both Jeff and Dustin are winners of Golden Burritos. So if you didn't check out the 2021 Golden Burritos and you want to be angry about what 3 people chose as their favorite books, I'll probably have the link up here for you to go to and watch the rewind on that one. So thank you all for stopping by and hearing me talk about my most anticipated comics. If you haven't already, please go to the link below, find me on Whatnot, and give me a follow. I will be going live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you are on the platform and you're interested in comics, I should have some pretty decent deals out there. I know that I'm doing some random like reader boxes. I'm doing some mystery boxes that are a little bit higher than the last ones I had, but both of those will be connected to other prizes at the end of it. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun getting these things prepared, and hopefully you guys enjoy them. But as always, I've been Cole, and those were my most anticipated comics. Let me know what you're most anticipated for down below, and I will check those out if it was something that I might have missed. All right, peace. My most anticipated comics from March 9th, 2022.